All right, welcome back to another video with Sledgehammer Tie-Dyes. I'm going to be doing another shirt today. It's one that I've done one of in the past, but it's not something that I've done too many of, but it's simple and it's fun, so I'm going to give it a go again. So the main idea is I'm going to have a bunch of different lines that I'm going to tie off with the sinew. The first angle is going to be very shallow, but then as each section goes, I'm going to increase that angle until eventually we're going to get to like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find, since it's going to be kind of like a V, where I want the top line to kind of end up. And I'm thinking something like that. Now, just to preface, this shirt has been obviously soaked in soda ash, spun out, and it's been given the center symmetry flip. I went ahead and did that off camera, so you don't have to see me wrestle with the shirt for 5 minutes. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plan out where I want that first angle to be. And I'll just go ahead and draw that sucker on. That looks pretty good to me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to want to measure how far down that shirt that I did. So that's about, I'm going to round it up and say 12. About 12 inches. Maybe 12 and a quarter. So yeah, we're going to go with 12. So the rest of them, oh geez, math. 3 more lines divided by 12, so 3 inches. So come down 3 inches. I'm going to put a dot there. I went ahead and left that quarter at the top. And I'm going to come down to the 6. And then the 9. So that's going to be where our 4 lines go from. Is that on camera? Yeah, it is. Okay. So now just kind of simply play it out. Not being super precise on angle gradients or differences or whatever. I don't care. I'm just going to do it. So I got that one there. This one's going to be even shallower. About like that. That looks good. And then this one is going to be practically straight, but just off by a little bit. All right. So those are my 4, well, 5, whatever sections that I'm going to get, 4 lines. And now we're just going to go ahead and cinch these up. So I guess I will start with this one because it's going to be the most of a pain out of all of them. All right, pull out the sinew, make a little slip knot. Right down that line. All right. Really pull that tight. All right, so let's go to the next. All right, mostly straight. Oh, come on, being a little argumentative. All right, here we go. And I do want to get some slack in between these so I'm not like pulling it in odd angles and stuff like that. Speaking of pulling in odd angles, there we go, jeez. Well, that was very unnatural for me. I always pass to the right. I just didn't want to go through all this mess. So I went to the left instead, and my hand doesn't know what to do. Under and mess up all your pleats. Brilliant move. And for the last one, all right, since I screwed it up last time, I'm just going to go around everything. Come on. So that is the majority of the tie done. Just go ahead and cut that off there. Tie this in a knot. Perfect. All right, so for the rest of this shirt, like, you don't really need to leave it all nice and pretty. You can mess it up, do whatever you want to it. But this up here does need to be scrunched in. So you can either use rubber bands or sinew. Or kite string. But I think I might actually just opt for the no, kite string. I don't have to get a band over all this. All right, come on, there we go. So I'm just kind of scrunch that down. I'm getting my wires crossed. There we go. I always get my wires crossed. That's everyday life for me. So whenever I use kite string, rather than just putting it over once and just kind of trying to pull it down, I go a couple times before I start to try to compress it. And that's mainly just because the slip knot on the kite string likes to come undone very easily. So I just kind of give it a few extra lengths to grip onto the shirt. All right, so that's that. That'll work. And then these guys. I'll wrap it around where I did the sinew, just to kind of give it an anchor point, I guess. So that way it's not pulling from this section to this section like a shrimping up even more than it already is, because it's already kind of a mess. That's that, and then one more section. You want to kind of make sure that these ties right here where you're going across the pleats stays flat. If it starts to buckle on you, then your tie really isn't going to hold down together very well. All right, so got to get back up to that part of the shirt. All right, once again, going to wrap around that sinew tie. Just kind of pull this in. Doesn't need much, but the main thing I'm trying to avoid is whenever they just kind of sit, that I can have these two sections kind of apart. That's really giving me some hassles. All right. So that's basically the tie. And off to the dye process. Alrighty, so now we're ready to move on to the dye portion of this whole thing. So the colors that I'm going to be using are going to be peacock blue, grape, Chinese red, orange sorbet, and lemon yellow. So a little bit of a rainbow action thing going on. Not quite a full rainbow. All right, so I'm going to start at the bottom. I want kind of the darker colors, the blue, the purple, and the reds to kind of be at the bottom, so it's, you know, weighted, I guess you could say. So I'm just going to go ahead and place the dye on top. So now that that's done, let's get these out of the way. Time to move on to the dyeing part, or the icing part, I should say. So I've got this little guy gonna go in between these two because they like to touch. And then I just got some cardboard from random deliveries left over. Wrap that around. Grab some clips. All right, so that's kind of how it's going to be, and I'll use a forceps right there. Let me grab one. So I'll just kind of push this guy in here and clamp her down. And then I'll do the same on the other side. Not that this side really matters, but we could kind of save it. And the more, the less space you have for ice to fall through, the better. I guess I could actually tighten this up a bit. So now let's throw some ice on it. And by ice, I mean soda ash, because I almost forgot again. All right. And just so it's not too pretty when it comes out, just to kind of make it a little more interesting, I'm going to go over the top with a little bit of Raven Black. And when I say a little bit, I mean just a little bit. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. And that's that. Now we just gotta let that melt over the course of however many hours. Let it sit for 24, and then we'll be back with the washout. All right, so it's been about 24 hours, and here's the shirt looking nice and ugly. Gotta love it. All right, so let's start washing it out. Start going with that cold water. It's always interesting how yellow does this. It like leaves a skin. Kind of weird. Go away. Look at all those colors. So I am hoping for some white lines where I tied the sinew. I seriously doubt this one's gonna work. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee that it did not work. I think, well, the last time I made this shirt, it was a medium, and I've been trying to fill out my stock of 3X t-shirts. So I figured I'd try it, and what I should have done is I should have gone like super big with the pleats on this one. Because I think these are gonna be fine, these three. But this one I should have like done twice as big, but it'll still look cool. Hopefully. I say that, I don't know what it looks like. Well, that's the washout. Or the rinse out, rather. So, yeah. Still gonna look cool. So instead of getting a white line, it kind of got like these pinkish type things right there. That's pretty sick. All right, let's throw it in the wash and see what it looks like when it comes out. All right, so it's done. It's out. It's dried. Kind of turned out pretty cool, I think. So yeah, the Raven does have a lot of blue in it. So I'm not surprised that the yellow just turned to green. But you know, it has all these different variations in it, from the dye being over the ice and kind of trickling down. So it created a lot of little spotchy, plotchy goodness. And over here, just the little pinky bits kind of washed out mostly. But, and then of course the Raven interacting with the Chinese red kind of divided things up, kind of made it, I don't know, really interesting. Almost like a old patch of, you know, America. The red, white, and blue. And the purple came out awesome. And then, of course, the blues with the raven kind of gave it a little darker hints of green, because there is some yellow in the raven as well. But overall, I really like it. You still kind of get that line going through here, so it wasn't a complete fail on that line. It looks cool. Yeah, I think it came out pretty good. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed it. This has been another shirt episode with Sledgehammer Tie-Dyes, and I'm out.